Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Those of you that are here for the first time, and those of you that have been here for the 100th time, welcome. Anyone been here for the 1000th time? You're giving out awards.
Well, I've been at Unity since 1973.
Oh, well, you definitely been here 1000 times. Wow. Hard to say what you've been doing. Say again? Whoa. From the big island, where is it? Maui, you said. Oh, I've been to that Unity church, and I knew Mary Mark back in the day, and yeah, wonderful. Well, welcome. Wish we had another day for you, but this is Northwest London. Yeah.
Well, the only reason why I got into Unity is the minister needed a singer. Oh, that's great.
Right, well,
Yeah.
for various reasons, we find
Mother-in-law
ourselves
said, Ruth, you gotta come down and cry out. That's why I love with Unity.
We love, yeah, we love it. We do. It's changed our lives.
Yes, you changed my life.
For the good.
Yes.
Right, we've had other things change our lives, and that is so for the good. So we really celebrate that, don't we?
Yep.
So I remember when I was much busier than I am today. I was working a full-time job, and I'm sure you can all relate to this. And I'd get up in the morning, and after I gained consciousness, and maybe had a cup of coffee, I would begin to say, okay, what's the most important thing for me to do? You know, get out that old to-do list, or create one if I hadn't done that, and, you know, try to follow that principle. First things first, you know that one? And second things never, you know, in other words, don't lose track of your focus and your priorities and all that. So. And that was effective. And now, you know, my life is, let's just say my dance card isn't full anymore like it used to be. So I have much more latitude in what I do with my time. But lately, it seems like, somewhat paradoxically, I get up every morning and I ask the question, why am I here? Does anyone know that? Denise will remind me, oh, this needs to be done, that needs to be done. Would you like dinner tonight? I'm not saying I have a life that doesn't have responsibility and value, but what seems to be a pressing question, and I don't think many of us, including myself, ask frequently enough is, what's the point? What's the point of this? Huh? Has anyone ever done that? What's the point? And of course, there's all different layers of ways that you can answer that question. All the way from, I have no clue. I'm just here. I didn't decide to be here. You know, my parents decided I should be here, and here I am. And I'm living this life the best I can. And then you can look at your life's work. You can look at, you know, what you've been called to do, and the work that you've done in the world, and decide that, you know, in some fashion, that has been the purpose with which you are here, and, you know, you will fulfill in some way a need that the world needed, and you serve in the best way that you can, and, you know, you can look at it that way. But then, a time comes in your life when you're no longer working. Some of us may relate to that. And when you're no longer working, then this question comes up for us, okay, well then, what is my value for being on this planet? Am I just taking up resources, you know, by being here? So, you might wonder what I'm getting at, because this is a spiritual community. So hold that thought for a minute. Hold the question in your mind. What's the point? In other words, what's the purpose of this life? My life, not this life. But what's the purpose of my life? What would be the biggest purpose of this life? Okay, can you hold that question? And then the other one is, think of something that you would like to happen in your life right now. The biggest thing that you can think of that you would think that would be life-changing, or the greatest fantasy that you could come up with for what you would like. It's not currently in this current reality. Just think about that. Okay, I'm sure some of you have an idea. So, you don't need to tell me what it is, but why do you want that? Why? Not just what, but why? Why is that so important? There's a common denominator here. This is what the point of this talk is saying, that if we go deep enough and look into our hearts, you will find the one thing that we want more than anything else. And I submit that that one thing that we want above all else is happiness. Who here doesn't want to be happy? Now, when I say happiness, I'm not talking about fleeting happiness. You know, I get what I want and I'm happy, and then desire again returns. I'm talking about a pervading sense of well-being. Right? Something that's, for most of us, seems to be in the background all the time. If we're even able to access it at all, if we're able to raise the veil, like the song says, raise the veil and to realize what's here in the background of my experience of life that is not disrupted by all the things that happen in life that I don't like. It's not aggrandized by when things go well, and it's not diminished when things don't go well. That's the kind of happiness that I'm talking about. Wouldn't that be the point? I mean, if we're going to put a demand upon this life, shouldn't we go for something that has no dark side, no flip side, no underbelly, no bad days? I would think so. Jesus had a thing that he said was, when living your life, seek first the kingdom of God, and then all those other things. Why would he say that? You think Jesus might have known what the source of true well-being is? Might. So, how are we living our life according to that notion? Where we sometimes just keep overlooking the idea that everything that we want in life is really to bring us to that sense of happiness and well-being. And yet we discover over and over and over again, don't we, that we seek but we do not find. We try out this relationship, or we receive this object, or we get the promotion, or we get the money, or we get to retire, or whatever. Has anyone lived that life? Where we just can't wait for the next thing? And just when then is our mantra. I've been there. And you can feel the tension in it, because it's this sort of yearning. It's like an itch that you can't quite scratch. Because as soon as you scratch it, in other words, you get what you want, then again, that part of you rises up again. And now it finds a new when then. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Is it just me? I hope not. Of course it is me. It's what does that mean? It's that sense of being separate from our wholeness. You know, call it separate self, we call it the ego, we call it what you will, the surface mind. It lives a life from outside in, right? It seeks, it has a sense of inadequacy, not enoughness. There's more is needed here for some reason. And I'm not talking about our physical needs, because obviously, as a body, we have certain physical needs. I'm talking about the sense of satisfaction and well-being. But that is, it's like, do you remember, this is dating myself, but we're all sort of there. Remember one of the first video games was Pac-Man. Remember Pac-Man? So Pac-Man would go around on this little path, eating and eating and eating, and never be fulfilled. Remember? That's us when we're identified as a separate self. We're disconnected from wholeness, disconnected from our truth of who we are. And that's why we're constantly seeking some object, relationship, circumstance, sensation in order to feel happy. And when we go down that path, and I go down that path, I do find temporary satisfaction. The yearning is abated for a moment, and then, so that separate self that needs more dissolves. And then it isn't too long afterwards when the separate self rises up again. It's like those, you knock down those whack-a-moles. As soon as you get one down, it's not much longer before up it rises and it's got a new desire, right? It's exhausting, ain't it? I couldn't keep up. Now, I'm not saying completely on the other side of that. I still find my wants and desires rising, but I've seen through them enough times to know that it's a false prophet. It's a false God. Right? You go, yeah, let's have a big screen TV, that'd be cool. Yeah, how big can I get? The bigger it gets, the bigger I'll feel. Then you get the TV, and then you're like, oh, I think I need a new sound system now. I gotta go with the big TV, I gotta have a sound system. And you see what happens is, all the while you are acquiring more on the outer, you're building up a greater dependency on the outer. Does this make sense to anyone? Oh, okay. So, everything you want is because you want happiness. Does that make sense? Can you think of any exception to that? Because we could dialogue on this, I think that would be cool. Is there anything that you can think of like, oh no, that's not happiness. That's not at the core of this. How about love? Okay, could we equate that? I would equate that. Love, peace, happiness, and wellness. Joy, all the same. Because, but it's not like, because when we think of love, sometimes we think in terms of dualistically. I love this person. But we're talking about, a love that you feel in your own heart. Which is, if you really look at that love that you feel in your heart, and it's not extended out to somebody or something, or that, it's just a feeling, for me, I think this might be true of most people, it's just a feeling of well-being. There's a fullness, it's not that yearning, there's no yearning, it's like, there's a warmth, and that sort of pervades the sense of well-being. Not happiness, not in the sense of like exuberant, joyful, blissed out, which is sometimes a misnomer for what enlightenment is or what inner happiness is. So, what else? Is there anything else that you could think of? So if that is the case, if everything that we're wanting in life is to bring us happiness, then what's the point of this life? What's the one compelling point of this life? Say it one more time, okay. What'd you say?
To center into that all-pervading sense of well-being.
Centering into that all-pervading sense of well-being. Beautiful. You said this. What'd you say?
So the expansion of the consciousness of God.
Expansion of the consciousness of God. Yes.
We're always expanding. Because of that's the ever expanding point of life is to experience more and more.
Yes.
And give that feedback to the God that self is able to keeps expanding. And that expansion is love.
That expansion is love. Yeah. And is that that's all dependent upon how this person is to you, right? Oh. It's dependent on how much money you have, right? It's dependent on how many friends you called you this week. What a good week. We're still human. That's not about that. But see, the point that I feel is important is that we get our priorities straight. That's what I said. Didn't I start with that? What's your priority? I think that's what Jesus said. Seek ye first, and then. But we go, I want to see that, and her, and him, and this, and that. And if I got time, go to church on Sunday. I don't say you have to go to church on Sunday to do this work. It's just a good place to hang out with people that maybe feel what you do will support you on your path. Will know what you're seeking to know, and you know for them what you know. And then in the context of that alignment, something magnificent can be felt. That's why spiritual communities still have value. It's not because we need to go to spiritual communities to get an inspirational message or to hear inspirational music. All of that's available, of course, online. People who are watching today are experiencing that without being here. But when you're in the community of people who are seeking to grow spiritually, there's something powerful about having an ally on the path. And the whole premise of the hero's journey is you're going to encounter obstacles and slay monsters along. And all the allies that you can acquire along the way will help you to make this journey and keep you on the path, and keep you encouraged and empowered. And that's what we're here for. It's not that God, the divine, whatever you want to call this divine essence, is anywhere apart from us. But there is a journey without distance that we must all take inside our own hearts. This is when we turn from outside all those things that we thought would bring us peace, happiness, and love, and we turn our attention onto our own being. Because we can take it quite literally that we are made in the image and likeness of God. So let's become familiar. My feeling is, what's more important than becoming familiar with the essence of our own being, which is divinity itself? Sometimes I think of that and I weep. And then I know I'm on the right track. Because it's like a homecoming. You know? The Course in Miracles says something like, it's a journey without distance to home right and left. Here? This? Yeah. The Hindus say, all this struggling to learn, and all we need to do is remember. What it is about? It's sort of a spiritual amnesia, right? Where we came from. The genesis of this life. It's not contained and limited to the body and the mind. That's the life. That's the life that we yearn for, and we're living alongside. And the good news is, like, that dissatisfaction you feel in life, it's like a magnet from God calling us back. And it never quits. It doesn't matter what we've done and how well we've done this life, or who we've hurt, or how we've misbehaved, because in the ultimate reality, you can't destroy the truth. It always remains. We talked last week, I think, last time I was here, about the screen, the idea of the screen. And this essence of who you and I are is like the screen. It doesn't matter what's been playing out on that screen, what movie, what Rocky, or a show, or love story, or really bad soap opera. It's been comedy, theirs. The screen remains unscathed. It's untouched by that. Isn't that good news? When we say you are innocent as a child of God, that's what we mean. Yeah, the story of the body and the mind is another story. There's a story about that. But that's why they say it's never too late to go back. It's never too late to reclaim your divine identity, the essence of who you are. And because that's true, that's the reason for the great happiness, the great joy, the great anticipation of this next moment. Because your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to turn around, get to know yourself. Not the self that lives in time and space, not the story that we have, but the life without the story. Talk to me.
And that can happen in an instant. Sitting with someone who was dying 2 years back, completely let a life of them. It was not very good, but at the last moment, he understood who he was. He transitioned. And to see what happened to him. And you can see the changes that we've gotten in the days.
Beautiful.
And later.
What a gift for you to witness that. Yeah, I've seen that too, and I think it's because it never really goes anywhere. It just becomes veiled. by our focus on, the appearance of life, right? The body and mind and all the things that are going on. Our focus is so there that it's not here. It's not, there's no internal locus of awareness. But it doesn't go anywhere. That's why meditation, that's why we live in an area now where people say, be mindful. Be mindful. And mindful isn't like, pay attention to what you're doing. It's pay attention to your what? Being. Yeah. Pay attention to your being. Become familiar with this one who you perhaps have overlooked for a long time. Sometimes that's what a good friend will do. And they'll look at you, and they will see your magnificence, your innocence. They know about all your stuff. They know you were with that guy, you did that, and we know all that. But I know you. What a beautiful thing. That's God with skin on, showing up to be your light. That's why we love those friends a lot.
And that's why I like the challenges. It comes upon you very quickly most of the time, and you have to decide whether you're going to sing or rather to really take it into who you are, or listen from that, and what you need to learn.
Beautiful. And that takes, you have to touch into something that has the buoyancy, let's say, to bring you back up. Who else? Right?
Oh, I'm just going to add to Shara's point
Sure.
and saying, once you make the decision and you see your vision, you will do it. I believe there's a saying, there's a saying, quote me it somewhere in the Bible. I don't know if I've heard it. Without vision, you perish.
Mm-hmm.
And once we get our vision and set forth and go through the obstacles to get to what we want and find that inner peace, we tap into that inner peace.
So a vision of truth. Without that, you do perish. That's right. Yeah. So, what else? Anyone else have something to share? We're all very contemplative today. And then we'll get you next.
But I don't eat. I've been really worked over myself, my anxiety, worrying about this stuff out here, worrying about buildings, worrying about the bills, worrying about, and the other day I got this, all of us came together outside of the building. All of us came together, connected with the phone or the internet. We all reached out to support and help one another. And all of a sudden I thought, I can let this all go. I can let this all go because we are the church, us. We are the love and the support in the community. And I saw it in action all for the last few weeks. And I thought, okay, it's not the building, it's us, and we don't need the building. Yes, we love to have the building, yes, but it's not what I'm seeing and witnessing, it's us. And I'm so grateful for each of y'all. It's just really,
Yeah. Beautiful. I think it's just sometimes, anytime we begin to soften our focus on what we think it's all about, just be curious about that. I gotta have this, and you need to have this, and just throw that out to question. Just, there's that teacher that says, just ask, is that true? And how do you know it's true? And if it wasn't true, what would you do? Please, judge.
What I know is that we are light beings, and we have chosen this life. We have had many. We have chosen to be here. So when I start, we're all going through stuff right now. We have to remember, we signed up for this. And that's huge. And we are, Mother Gaia, the frequency on the planet is raising. I don't know, people, okay, thank you. And we have to move right along with that. And that's what's happening. And there's a lot of chaos, and it looks, I know my spiritual teacher said to me years ago, it's gonna look really, really bad. Stay grounded and trust, because it's not what, and it's all good. We just have to get rid of a lot of crap. You know, we've been hanging on to old beliefs, right, for a long, long time. And so we're all moving through this together. And when I walked in here, every person that looked at, came up to me and looked at me and breathed, very loving space. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for being here today. Yeah, I think there's a lot of philosophies that surround this notion too, and I'm sort of maybe I'm old-fashioned or whatever, but I think lately I just want to keep it really simple. I don't know that I can embrace all those philosophies anymore, but I can embrace the one notion that I need to spend time getting to know who I really am. Because what I noticed in my own relationships with my wife and my grandkids and my sons and daughter-in-law is that when the more I'm centered in that space, the more I seem to do things right. It's like when my identity is connected correctly with the truth of me, the right action arises naturally. So yeah, but whatever gives you that sense that I know I'm in the right place at the right time, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, whatever practice that brings you into that, is probably your right step in your journey. Whatever it is. Okay, are we complete for the day? Andrew, did you have something you want to add? No. We'll catch you later. Very good. All right, well, let's take a moment just to go inside, shall we? That's what we talked about. And join me in taking a deep breath and letting it out. As we do, we release whatever activity of the mind is engaged in this conversation. And as our attention moves from our mind, let it come into the heart space. Let us just, for a moment, breathe into the heart. Breathing in, the heart expands. Breathing out anything unlike peace. Breathing in, our heart expands. Breathing out anything unlike love. In this heart space, we ask ourselves, who am I? How do I know that I am? This is a sense of being. You may be confused about a lot of things. But is there anyone here that does not know that they exist? Pure, unencumbered being. You've known this about yourself since you were probably 18 months old. Maybe before. And as you grew, you took on all kinds of labels and conditions and beliefs. But you never stop being you. And that sense of you maybe got covered over by what someone said you were, or what you were like. Your qualities, your personality, your tendencies, your behaviors. And all of those things have nothing to do with that essence, pure being. Jesus said, before Abraham was, I am. The I am that you are is the same I am. And I am is the name of God. Oh, to Moses, who shall I say sent me? I am. And it's this I am that you are, that I am. Where there is only one of us here. It's this being is shared with all beings. It's taken on distinctions because of the form that surrounds it. But the being is always connected to the source. Love, wholeness, peace. You may journey to the ends of the earth, but you take his being with you wherever you go. As we say in the song, by the prayer for protection, wherever I am.